Hey everyone, this is Jason Roggasch. I just wanted to do a very quick video about this recent news that broke today about the ISIS killing of the USAID worker. Obama calls it an act of pure evil. And what is the Navy? Well, they're a force for good. You see what I'm saying? Make it supernatural, turn it into something not... He didn't say aberrant, he didn't say illegal, he didn't say terrible, he used the word evil. And by the way, when a president uses the word something is so evil, and David Cameron uses it in this article, I'm not going to read the article to you, but David Cameron even makes reference to this because, and the reason he does is because they're trying to get the Western world convinced that ISIS is real and they're a threat and that they're coming in, they're the new boogeyman. It was Al-Qaeda, now it's ISIS. One of the things you have to remember about this is that this was, let me just give you a quick synopsis. This was a 26-year-old kid from Indiana who converted to Islam and went to Syria to help out. It doesn't really be clear if he's on the Syrian side. He's just there to help somebody on the side of somewhere in Syria. So I don't know if he's on the pro or anti-Syrian side. I'm assuming pro-Syrian side, but I don't know. He's an aid worker, so of course he's doing justice. He's a good person. He just went over there to help, and now, well, golly gee whiz, he was kidnapped in October 2013, and now he's been beheaded by ISIS. ISIS, the new Middle Eastern boogeyman. Let me ask you this really quickly. And this is something that nobody ever brings up, and I just want to be clear that this is something that I have studied a lot, and it's become more and more evident to me over the years that why so loud? Why would you, if you were trying to beat America, you were trying to usurp America, you were trying to get America to leave Iraq or Syria, or both, whatever, and you're really trying to gain control, why be so loud? Why would you be so... I'm going to make a video showing me beheading one of your citizens. That has been a history of this quote-unquote terrorism that is a quote-unquote threat to the American people. They do the same act over and over again. They bring an American out, they put something on his head, they behead him, then they show you the head, and then they warn Americans to get out of the country. And what does that reaction actually do? It has the exact opposite of wanting the Americans to get out of the country. It has the exact opposite of making Americans queasy or sick or any of that stuff. It makes them angry, and it makes them justified to spend more money in Iraq and Afghanistan and more money on wars of conquest and empire. That's what it's for. It would make no sense to you, think about if you were running some kind of revolutionary group, to behead a citizen of your adversary's country who was much more dominant, much more powerful, and frankly, much meaner than you are. Why in the fuck would you stir up the hornet's nest like that? Why wouldn't you just go about your business trying and doing it in an undercover kind of way, in a secretive kind of way, in a black operations type of way, which is what America does, which is what the West does when they do things in a black operational way, and then they get the mainstream involved, and then that comes later. This is the exact opposite with ISIS. This isn't, why would you be blustering about killing an American citizen? Well, obviously, you wouldn't. So that would mean, do the math, that this was probably a Western propaganda event trying to get Americans to want to continue these illegal wars of empire in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's what this is, and specifically Iraq. They just sent 1,500 advisors last week or the week before, 1,500 quote-unquote non-combat advisors over to, sounds like the Vietnam War, over to Iraq. This is the same fucking MO. Now they're showing people being beheaded, Americans being beheaded. And that will certainly, by the people who are trying to change things in the country. And the excuse is, well, they're just crazy. They're just nuts. Really? They're crazy, huh? Do you know crazy people that can orchestrate and get people involved on a grassroots level? Do you know crazy people who can continue to keep billing cycles and organizational principles of companies? Not everybody can possibly be crazy involved. So what you have is probably they're not crazy at all if ISIS is even real, and I don't think it is. I think it's real on the sense that the Americans created it, fund it, and try to convince the West, because let's be honest, Americans don't watch news from overseas. Americans don't even watch the news in their own country, the majority of them. Americans don't even vote. The majority of people who can register to vote don't vote. Over 50% don't vote. This is not an informed, well-educated, involved country. This is a dumbed-down, Hollywooded to death over the last 30 years. Hollywood used to be smart. Hollywood used to somewhat give you some intelligence, somewhat not treat. Now it's war good, America good, human life not important unless it's American. And even American life isn't important, as you can see in this video, because they'll sacrifice anything. But notice it was only one. No suicide bombing somewhere. They didn't run into a caravan of soldiers. They don't report on the soldiers that are dying every day. They don't show that on MSNBC, do they? No, they show one kid from Indiana who was an aid worker who gets his head cut off. It's nonsense, and you are being tricked. And what's even worse about it, in my opinion, is that if you really take a look at it, it's propaganda. And these are wars of empire. They're not wars of defense. Nobody ever attacked us. No one ever attacked us. Remember that. Nobody in any country ever attacked America in these two countries we're fighting. And that is a big thing to remember. So anything that they're telling you propaganda-wise is to keep you, the American taxpayer, who controls this fucking shit really, either completely distracted in a way, that's what sports are, or they tell you, if you're informed and you actually watch the news, this is to get you pissed off so you're willing to support the military-industrial complex and their wars of empire. That's all it is. So please keep that in mind. And another thing is, notice how this is my favorite part of the video. Notice how that the guy that was doing the beheading, that was warning the American public and warning the world in general, has a British accent. Can't make that shit up. All right, have a good day.